Hi, and welcome to Let's Bake and Cook Stuff. Today I'm making oatmeal cookies, and I know that might sound kind of boring because it's just oatmeal cookies, but I'm doing something different with it, so I hope you'll like my changes. For one, I'm using browned butter. I'm going to start with browning the butter, and I'm going to put it on medium high on this, but you would, obviously use it on your regular stove. I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. And I'm going to brown the butter. And what that just means is, what it sounds like, the butter's going to get brown. The only thing I don't like about browning butter is if you let it go just one tiny little second past the browning, it burns. So you have to really keep an eye on it, make sure that it doesn't burn. So we're going to do that on here. This is one stick, a half a cup. And I've changed the original recipe just a bit, just to see if I could, improve on it, and I'll let you know. Starting to sizzle. It's on medium high right now. Oops. Gotta keep it swirling, or it will burn. What's kind of weird about it, it turns a little bit brown in spots, and then once you swirl it around, it all just starts, and it happens like boom. So keep an eye on it. You don't have to do this. If you want to use just regular butter, softened, then, by all means, do that. But the brown butter does have it's an extra flavor that you don't get from just the regular butter, that's all. Okay, and I want to show you what the brown butter looks like, but it's all foamy on top, so you can't really see. But it is browned, and I'm going to pour it into a glass, and you can see that it's brown. That doesn't help you in the pan, though, is why I wanted to show you in the pan. But you can see it a little bit there, even though it's kind of foamy on top. But you can also smell it. Once it starts getting really nutty, then you know it's time to take it off the heat. Okay, and now I did do that on medium-high that entire time, but I kept lifting it up, so you might want to try it if it's your first time. Do it just on medium, but do keep an eye on it. You don't have to stir it, but you want to swirl your pan. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there while we do other things. I'm going to put, this is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of whole wheat flour, and this, I took 1 cup of old-fashioned oats and blended it up in the blender. You can see how it's almost like oat flour. That's actually what oat flour is, for those of you who don't know. Oat flour is ground up oats. So if you buy oat flour in the store, that's what you're buying, and you can actually make your own with your food processor. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. I don't know why we have to say ground cinnamon. Obviously, you're not going to put a whole cinnamon stick in a batch of cookies, right? But that's what we do. Okay, now we're going to put our browned butter. See, it also takes a little bit of the liquid out, so you don't actually have a half a cup here anymore. It's actually, well, if that foam would go down, it's probably, just a little under a half a cup. But you want all this stuff that's stuck in the bottom, you want that too. That's where all the flavor is. That's what we browned, okay? Half a cup of vegetable oil. 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. And you always pack the brown sugar, right? I've been making the oatmeal cookies off of the package off of the oatmeal box for, I don't even want to tell you how long. Those are delicious. I don't have any problem with those, but I wanted to see if I could improve on them. So we're going to see if this is an improvement. Hopefully it will be. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Actually, this is if you could heard of any such a thing as a heaping teaspoon of vanilla, because I actually poured it in there and some of it spilled out over into it. So it's actually a little bit more than a teaspoon, but a teaspoon is what it should be. But I thought, let's see if it makes any difference if it's a little bit more. Now, 2 eggs. I'm gonna put one in and stir it in real good. Oh, I guess I'm gonna put both in. Adding our dry ingredients. Now I'm using old-fashioned oats. If you already have the, not instant oats, but the quick oats, you could use those too. I prefer the old-fashioned oats. I think they have more flavor, they have more nutrients in them. They haven't been as processed as the other ones, so that's why I use those. But if you have those, just go ahead and use them, and you can still make flour out of them. I used 1 cup of oats and pulverized it in the food processor, and it made about 3/4 of a cup of the oat flour. And since we have 1 cup of oats in there already in the form of oat flour, I'm just putting 2 cups of oats. All right, get those mixed in. So thick, such a. These are my husband's favorite cookie. Now, he sometimes says this is his favorite, and then he'll say snickerdoodles, and then he'll say my ginger snaps. So. Okay, and now this is a 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, but whatever nuts you have. If you have some pecans you want to use up, or any kind of nut you like, almonds. Now I have 2 scoops here. This one is 1 tablespoon, and this one is 2 tablespoons. I'm going to go ahead and make them first in this one. It's 2 tablespoon size, and see how those go. Remember, you want to keep them sort of spread apart, just because they will spread out a little bit, okay? And that's because we have the melted butter in there, and we have the oil in there, okay? Now, if you want these in big heaps like this, like I think they look like little haystacks, you can leave them like that. I'm going to flatten them down just a little bit. Okay, we're going to put them in a 350-degree oven, and I think it's going to be about 10 minutes, but I'm going to let you know because we're experimenting right here. Do you like raisins in your oatmeal cookies? I do. I normally will put raisins or chopped dates or some cranberries, the dried cranberries, or even dried cherries in there. But I'm making these for my husband. He doesn't like onions. He doesn't like onions in his oatmeal cookies either. He doesn't like raisins in his oatmeal cookies. So I'm leaving those out, and we'll see what happens. These are going to be the 2 tablespoon batch, and then we're going to try the 1 tablespoon batch and see how they go, and we'll be back. Okay, here's the first batch. Now those turned out to be pretty good sized cookies, right? And that's a 2 tablespoon. That was 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes exactly. You see how they're browned right around the rim there, right around the edges? That's a perfect cookie, if I say so myself. You let these cool for a couple of minutes, and then we'll put them on a rack, and then they can cool completely. I still want to try the smaller ones and see how those go. I'll probably be making those at Christmas time, because I make smaller cookies at Christmas time, because on my tray I like to have little bite-sized cookies so everyone can try little bits. So we'll see you back here when we get the tiny ones out and see which ones work the best. I mean, they're going to taste the same, I guess, right? But we want to see if it matters, if you use the bigger scoop or the smaller scoop. And we'll see if this new concoction that I made up, if it is better than the original one that I've been using off the box for, a while. Come back. I wanted to show you the cookie and then how the back looks. See how that's nice and golden on the back? And you can see it's right around the edges. It's that same color. That's how you can tell when they're done. Watch this. Really? Well, I like these better. They're more oatier tasting because we used the part of that oat flour that we made. I like these better than the other ones. You try them and you let me know how you like them. I've got these smaller ones ready to go in, and we'll see if it makes any difference. It shouldn't, but it's going to make a difference in the baking time. So we're going to do these for like 8 minutes. That was 8 minutes for these smaller ones. These are a tablespoon. So that was 2 tablespoons. These are 1 tablespoon. That was 8 minutes. And I wanted to say for the bigger ones, I would say 9 to 10 minutes. I did put them both in for 10 and they're fine. But if you want them a little more chewier, then it's probably going to be closer to do 9 and see how you like them. And these are ready to go. These are nice and bite-sized, tiny little, bite-sized cookies. I think that these would be great for like a little party so that you could have more to go around, and then also people can try other things. If they have this one cookie, they might say, oh, I won't have another cookie, but since this is half the size, maybe they'll have this and maybe try something else. I don't know. Let me know how you like it if you try this recipe. If you'd like to see more videos from me, then please hit the subscribe button. And if you have any comments, I'd love to see them below. You take care now.